Welcome back to States Against Humanity, the tournament that determines the worst state for our humanity. For those tagging me in real-time stories, thank you. I see that the entire country is a dumpster fire, hence the reason for this tournament. Today we look towards the Hellscape Dystopian division, so that you can vote for your worst worst state in the matchup of number 1 seed Alabama versus number 4 seed Iowa. We will be using this as our rubric and guide, since these are the categories that the GOP tends to focus their interests on. Alabama has some of the strictest abortion laws in the country. Part of that because the exceptions that do exist, they don't actually abide by. And then there was that whole thing when they're like, IVF embryos are people. And then they cited the Christian God in their ruling. Okay. Yes, vouchers are things. They call it school choice there. So check that off the list. I don't think we really have to say much more than this, do you? They're going to try to completely erase the LGBTQ community from history. So it only makes sense that they adopt anti-DEI viewpoints. Predictably disappointing could be their new logo for the state. The irony is not lost on me that the governor has banned divisive concepts in schools. Ma'am, your entire state is a divisive concept. I don't know if this gets them a full check, but they're obviously trying. They're trying their hardest. Now, here's where it gets interesting, because we know there's been gerrymandering in the state of Alabama, but we also know that the courts know it too and are like, no, you're not going to use congressional districts to divide the black majority, but Republicans are still going to try. Only 5 million people live in Alabama, but they have the 4th highest firearms death rate in the country. I think we can just end on that. This is such a bleak checklist. On to Iowa. Now, Iowa's working really hard to try to pass a 6-week abortion ban, but for now, while they wait to hear from the Supreme Court, it's still at 20 weeks. So we're not gonna check that box quite yet. I guess. I don't know. It's like the worst of the worst versus the less worst. Yes, they have vouchers, and no, it doesn't work. The governor just passed a religious freedom bill, which is as anti-LGBTQ as you can imagine it might be. They've told Iowa public universities they have to eliminate non-essential DEI positions. Child labor is so problematic in the state of Iowa that their revised law doesn't even meet federal standards. The government's like, yo, Iowa, stop putting kids to work. Iowa's redistricting plan was lauded as one of the most nonpartisan redistricting plans. The least amount of gerrymandering here, supposedly. However, it still worked out really well for the Republicans. So do with that what you will. Do you think we can give them 2 checks for this? Iowa Senate's like, we love our guns so much that we think teachers should be allowed to carry them. Teachers and staff should be allowed to carry them at school. Let's do it. All in all, a surprisingly conservative checklist from Iowa. And I use conservative in a positive context right now. Which is the worser state for humanity? Number 1 seed Alabama or number 4 seed Iowa? Please vote now, or you can go vote in my Google form. Find it in the link in bio. Stay tuned for more States Against Humanity voting this week. Let's get this thing done already.